Hello, this is Roger Shouse, and this is Jumpstart Rewind. This is part of our Heaven Bound podcast family. Luke chapter 8 and verse 22. Now it came about on one of those days that he got into a boat, he and his disciples, and said to them, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." And they launched out. Readers of the Bible know this story. Mark gives us insight as if he was a weatherman. He tells us that a fierce gale of wind arose. The waves were over the boat, and the boat was filling up with water. Frantic, scared, and losing all hope, the disciples awakened Jesus with the plea, "We are perishing." In our words today, we would simply say that we're about to die. This is not something that could be dealt with later on. In a few moments, that boat would begin to sink. Water inside a boat is not good. Waves above the boat is not good. The storm they faced was greater than they were. And such is the nature of storms. They are greater than we are. We can't see into tomorrow. We can't fix everything. Out of money, and the bills keep coming in, and things need to be fixed. What to do? What seems like a typical day at work ends with you carrying out a box of your personal possessions because you have been let go. The words stage 4 are attached to your medical results. You thought it was just a sore muscle. Now the discussion turns to surgery, or chemo, or even hospice. Our storms can become very suddenly, just like they do on the sea. Our storms change our plans and can upset our world. There are times when the only place to turn to is the Lord. 3 lessons we learn from the storms of life. First, Jesus knew all about the coming storm. How often we may say, "I never saw that coming." That may be true, but God did. The story of the farmer who's going to tear down his barns and build larger ones never saw that his life was coming to an end that very night. No tomorrow here, no next week. That very night his soul was required. God sees the storms that we do not see. Second, the storm may be exactly where God wants us to be. I think that's true of Jonah and his storm. I think that's true in our Luke passage. The section ends with the disciples amazed and afraid because even the wind and the waves obeyed Jesus. His voice is all it takes. He commands in ways that are so beyond us. Feeding the pigs is what looks like what it took for the prodigal to come to his senses and come home. As scary and violent and helpless as storms make us, they can do wonders for our hearts. They can lead us to praying like we've never prayed before. They can enrich our fellowship with one another in ways that's never happened before. We do all we can to avoid storms. Sometimes it's the storms that lead us to trusting the Lord deeper than we ever have before. Third, the disciples were never alone. They had Jesus. Jesus in the boat is all that they needed. And that's exactly what we need. Jesus with you in the medical test. Jesus and you looking for another job. Jesus and you having the conversation with your troubled teen. Jesus and you in working out that budget. Hopeless and helpless are not the words when Jesus is with us. God may call us to do hard things, changing our ways, apologizing to others, becoming patient, learning humility, tough lessons, but lessons of faith as the disciples had to learn. When Peter was chained in prison and the Lord sent an angel and the doors opened up, do you think Peter was shocked and amazed? The Lord can stop a storm and he can open prison doors. The Lord can shut the mouths of lions, part seas, make fire come down from heaven, and calm your scared heart and give you rest to a weary soul. Paul told the Thessalonians to be thankful in all things, 1 Thessalonians 5:18. For everything, be thankful. It's easy to be thankful to the Lord for the sunshine, but how about the thunderstorms? How about the storms in your life? Thankful because they bring me closer to the Lord. Thankful because it opened my eyes to what really matters. Thankful for his enduring love. Storms, we can learn from them, and they can make you better. Thank you so much for listening.